Hello, my beautiful souls, and welcome to this reading. That sounded weird. It's a weird energy. Something is a little off. I hesitated to press record, and then, like, the greeting came out with this little sing song vibe in my voice at the end. So, yeah, something is a little off. Hmm. Okay, and we are right. Uh, okay, language is also failing me. This is super weird. It's super awkward. Oh, okay. So this is jumping right into the message, and this is about someone who feels awkward in social settings. Like you have the natural tendency to just to fail to fail yourself. I hear you don't manage to keep your center and to be who you naturally are, but somehow like there always comes out this weird version of you and you're so aware of it, and like you're literally watching yourself falling over your own words, stumble over your own feet, becoming clumsy, becoming like weird and awkward. And you can see and you can feel how other people perceive you. And still, you feel like that there's nothing that you can do about it. And the more you get aware of it, become aware of it, the more you focus on it, the more awkward it gets. Okay, something about practice. So maybe you practiced. Oh, okay. So you might have maybe you have literally tried to take courses or get some training, maybe even like in speaking and how to speak with more confidence, how to become more content in social settings, but it seems like nothing really helped you. And maybe you didn't, like take a course or because I can already feel and hear the protest. Like that would be another social setting. Like that would be another group activity you have to that you would have to take participation in, and that would give you anxieties. And so you're like, no, don't, I can't do that. That's too much. But you might, I hear something about maybe watching videos or listening to podcasts in order to get tips, how to be more confident, how to come out of your shell and be more sociable and speak with more confidence, with more clarity. But somehow all of that seemed to have maybe even made it like worse, if not like worse, but at least I feel like it didn't really help a lot. So well, maybe you've been asking a question like, what else can I do? What else can I do about that? Or maybe you've given up on it. I can feel someone who's kind of just accepted for themselves. Like, that's just who I am. That's just who I am. But it doesn't make you happy. I'm drawn to the back of this card here right now, and I do see, like, okay, here, like, you feel like you're being put through the ringer. So when you are in social settings, like, there's this huge energy up here in your inner world, your thoughts, your feelings. There's so much there, so much creativity, and it's a lot. And then you feel like when you have to channel it, bring it through into spoken words, and not just that, but being in contact with other people and having to express yourself, having to I really see this like a birthing process. Like you have to push it through this very, very narrow opening here to bring it out into the world. And then, and this is where it gets interesting, you feel like it loses like all of that body up here. Like there's so much here, but it loses all of that. And what is left is just like this tiny, teeny little string. And then it goes out into the world and people perceive it and it gets like this huge thing. It gets a life of its own. And suddenly there are all those things there that you never intended to say or that you didn't mean, but people perceived it that way. Like there's an energy of misunderstanding here. Of it doesn't matter what I say, people always take it the wrong way, or things I do or the way I behave, just it's not what I mean, but what people perceive, and they just take my output and make it something that it's not. So I'm also getting something about this is the reason why you stopped creating. So there's someone who stopped putting out their creations, and this creations can be anything, right? It can be from drawing, like painting, making music, writing something, to speaking with people, making YouTube videos. I don't know, it doesn't matter. Like it can be like creative energy is not limited to arts. Like we usually think about them in arts, like terms of art. It doesn't have to be. Anything you create in this world comes from creative energy. There's quite an emphasis on that. I get something about coding. I get something about someone writing maybe like a computer program or an app, or has like developed something. It feels very technical. It feels very, very more like very much in the like coding space. And it's a very creative project. And there's this fear of when I put it out into the world, people will misunderstand it. And so that's why I'm keeping it for myself, to myself. And I hear it's a loss. It's a loss because it's a great idea. It's a great idea. Okay. Yeah, let's get into the cards and get a little more about this topic, this energy. That's a lot. So there's a lot. Yeah, there's a lot going on for you, and it almost feels overwhelming. So my first impulse was to like not take the cards and to put them back and like ask for less cards. But again, like I feel like this is not what I'm supposed to do. It's not about limiting what you have to offer. It is more about building containers that can hold what you have to offer. And in order not to get overwhelmed, go about the process step by step. Just take one step after the other and don't think about like, oh my God, there are like a million cards lying here and I have to read them all. So what do we have? The regeneration and the flexible card. Somehow I feel the need to ground myself. Like I said, there's a lot coming in, a lot of like almost anxiety with all of what's coming in. It just feels too much, just too much. And what I can read out of those cards right now is that allow yourself the time and space to process whatever is coming through, and okay, so it seems like you created a pretty rigid belief system around this, coming back to that thing about the social anxiety, that there are very, very clear beliefs in your mindset about this is how people are. Like, people do not understand me. I'm too much. My ideas are too much. Nobody understands me. Like those very the word rigid comes up. It sounds harsh, but it seems like you're being asked to maybe open up a bit and to leave room for the possibility that maybe it's not like the people doesn't exist. Like there's not just like one kind of people. 12:12, while I'm looking at the timer here. That's interesting. That took me out because it's weird. I actually, my phone is positioned in a way that I don't really look at it, but I just glanced up and I saw it on the timer, and then I said it, and that completely took me out. What is that all about? So there's something about distractions, like you're coming off course. You're following avenues, paths. So okay, there's something about being minded. You have a scattered mind. But is that even true? There's a belief about my mind is scattered. And now I'm drawn to the back of this card. And it's like, no, your mind is not scattered. It just creates those beautiful ornaments and patterns. And that's interesting. It takes the eye of a connoisseur to understand it. That sounded very sophisticated. So it's like here, it's like you're like a fine wine. Not many people will understand it, and it's like I don't know, a 100 euro bottle of really, really good wine will be lost on a person who drinks 2 euro wine from the supermarket, from the liter container, and says like, I don't know what, it's good, that's fine. So that person will not be able to value the worth of this very expensive bottle of wine. But someone who's like trained in tasting the complexity and like all the different flavors and is like really valuing what this bottle of wine is gifting them, to them it's like a great investment to have that. So it's more about like, okay, open up your perception about, it's not about people, like the people, not all the people are don't understand me, but like there are people out there who do understand me, who will understand me. But as long as I keep telling myself there is no one out there who's able to understand me, you will keep attracting those people. Like attracts like. The energy you put out, the thoughts that you send out there will manifest. Not telling you like it's your fault and you're doing something wrong. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is just become aware of the thought patterns you have and challenge them, question them. Do not believe everything you think. And also do not believe everything you've experienced so far. Simply because you had like certain experiences in your life, it doesn't mean that you cannot have a different kind of experience if you change the way you look at things, if you change your thoughts and your feelings about a certain thing. With this regeneration card, it feels to me like that there is some process of healing going on with that right now. So it seems like you've been in a phase of maybe hermiting away, like really protecting yourself, and you've done a lot of work in that space. So yeah, you've been working on that, like becoming more flexible in your thoughts, because you've recognized that for yourself. So maybe this is even more like confirmation that what you're doing is like the right thing to do, like that you're already on the right track. And this regeneration card is speaking to me about like, it still looks quite devastating. Yeah, this burning ground. And this tree, it does look kind of dead, but if you look closer, you can see that there are fresh leaves sprouting. And there's this beautiful bright light coming, shining down on it, and it's growing towards the light. So even in the darkest times, it seems like you've managed to keep the faith, to stay connected to something higher, like a higher form of love. There's something about giving yourself some credit for that. So maybe you're beating yourself up a lot, that you're not more, again, like more capable in stepping out into the world. Okay, so it feels like you might be challenging yourself to like go more out there, to meet new people, to find your like your soul tribe, your crowd. And you really want to believe that they are out there, but there's still some doubt coming through, simply because you haven't found them yet. And I do feel this, like this message here is supposed to be some kind of confirmation that yes, the people are out there, and yes, you will be able to connect with them, and they will understand you. They will be able to acknowledge this beautiful piece of art that you're mind and your feelings, like your inner world is, it will translate. So this is changing on me now. All of this is coming through here. Yes, it's still, because that's just the way communication works, right? Of course, it's always limited in the way we speak, the way we create. But trust that there are people out there who will, yes, they will perceive what you are. To you, it feels like, oh my God, this is like this whole thing here. And what is left is simply that. But sometimes all it needs is a spark. All it needs is a spark to inspire something in somebody else. So this tiny little spark here can actually inspire this other person over here to create something beautiful as well. And then it suddenly mirrors your own internal world, and they made it their own. And it will be something that you can appreciate as well, because you suddenly see like, oh wow, this is what I have, and I've channeled it into this, and the other person took it and made it their own, and suddenly something new emerges from that, and you will be able to see the beauty in that. And it's the same here, you know, it's a mirrored experience. And so there's something about two sides of one coin. For example, like, I don't know, maybe you're an artist and you create a painting, and then someone sees it and is so inspired by it and creates a piece of music. And then like you have this energy and it's mirrored in this piece of music. And of course it's something different because it's a different medium, it's a different person. But it's just like, it's a mirrored experience. It's something new, but at the same time it has the same essence because it came from the same source. It came from that spark, that divine spark. The essence was still there. So you put out the essence before, and it was, how does that saying go? Cast pearls upon swines. The people who you gave that essence to, they were not able to receive it because they just didn't have the perception, like the bandwidth or the depth or whatever you want to call it, to perceive it. But again, like there are people out there who are able to perceive it, and they won't be the same. Like somehow there's someone or I'm picking up on like this expectation of, oh, people have to be exactly the same. That's not who you're looking for, because this would actually be pretty boring, because like you cannot like you have to be similar enough to get along, but at the same time you have to be different enough to keep it interesting. All right, let's look at the rest of the card. Just putting it a bit further up. Somehow I'm seeing this right now as like the 4 directions, like north, east, south, and west. Here is like the North Star. You will hear me talking about the North Star a lot. I also do have another channel, it's called Light of Polaris. like journey. It's about like journeying through life and finding your North Star. If you want to check it out, I'll put it in the description. So yeah, this is about like the North Star, and there's it's interesting that it's mirrored, like it's called the Fates, and there's something about, yeah, like the North Star. What is your purpose in life? And I find it interesting that it's mirrored. It's not like, I'm not reading it as a classical reversal, as like this is like that something is quote unquote wrong with the energy. It doesn't speak to me that way. It's more about like as above, so below. So there's something about like the cosmic forces at play, how everything is mirrored in our, like everything that happens in our life is mirrored in like in the external and internal. Yes, as within, so without, as above, so below. So there's something about like the cosmic order, cosmic laws. Okay, so if you keep walking the path of your North Star, and I see this as a path right now, and it's like one step after the other, because it can feel very overwhelming. And sometimes it is like, well, I don't know what my North Star is. And you don't have to know like the general purpose of your life. What I always recommend is to ask for it, and to ask, okay, so what is the North Star of this moment? What is the highest truth that I can follow in this moment? Just, okay, now we're coming here. Take a deep breath, center yourself, become centered in yourself, tune in, check in, and ask, what is my North Star in this moment? What is the highest alignment? What is the highest, deepest truth in this moment? And then whatever comes up, do that. And when you're finished with that, do this thing again. Do the same thing again. You can do this as a general practice every morning. Like I like to do that every morning, just to check in and ask like, okay, what's my North Star for today? Sometimes I do that in a reading. When I get lost, I ask, okay, what's the North Star here? Like where to focus my energy? And I do it in every transition, in every moment that arises, and where I feel like, okay, I've been in flow, now I'm not quite sure what to do. So let's refocus, let's readjust and find the North Star. And you see how this is growing. And with every step you take, it becomes bigger and bigger and bigger and clearer. And until you finally like arrive at this illumination of, oh wow, so that's my purpose. And with the purpose, with following your purpose, with following your North Star, that journey, you automatically call in the right people. So I said that this is the East for me, and the East is it's where the sun is rising. It is the energy of new beginnings. It's a rebirth, and with that comes the energy of mending. And it's right below the regeneration card. So there is some healing energy here. I mean, mending is a very healing energy. So it seems like if you start following that North Star and you come into this new beginning, you step into it, you embrace that new beginning, you start to encounter people who help you mend those old wounds. It's not necessary that you are completely healed before you can step in onto that new path, onto your new beginning, into your new beginning. Okay, so this is about, it's a learning experience. There are things like you can learn a lot of in that hermiting state, but there are things that you need to learn while doing it, while practicing it, being on that path, meeting those people, putting yourself out there, trusting. And I'm drawn, like right now I'm drawn to those wings, like her wings are pointing down. Like I'm reading this as a bit of like a broken energy, like not broken and like you are broken, but just a little, you know, ruffled, like ruffled feathers. And hers are pointing out, like they are quite intact. They are like she's ready to take off. She's ready to fly away. And but they are working on something, like they are working on this project together, and there's a string connecting the two of them, a thread connecting the two of them. So there is like a healing happening, and she's giving from her, maybe she's just like a few steps further along on that healing journey, and she has something to give to that other little fairy over here. But at the same time, you know, it's not a one-way street. Like this is a giving and taking. It's like she's receiving from her as well. You can tell. And they're both looking up, so they are both having their eyes on something higher. And like I said, there's this connection between the two of them, and she's very actively working on that thread here. So it's a working together on it, and both of them have something to give that the other needs. Okay, so this is important. Both of them have something that the other needs, and simply because like you're receiving something from that other person, it doesn't mean that you don't have something to reciprocate. Like you have something that that other person needs. You believe it or not. It seems like you're a bit doubtful about that. Like what do I have to give? And it's not like you're not I don't get that victim kind of energy of, oh, what do I have to give? It's like I think you value that social aspect so highly that it's, for you it's kind of hard to imagine that like if someone steps into your life and helps you heal those old wounds, that you having a hard time wrapping your head around that you might have something to give to that person too. But I feel like you're underestimating yourself. You're absolutely underestimating yourself. Okay, there's not much more coming through with that. I'm drawn to the west now, to this part, and I am a bit like, this energy is not really clear to me at this moment. And this again speaks to me, like this time it speaks to me about like the reversal of the card. So there's like message in a bottle, and it's about communication. But usually like this card speaks to me about communication that is not straightforward. For example, when the universe speaks to us, it has its own language, and sometimes it takes a while to decipher what it actually wants to say. Or when we're receiving guidance, reading cards, those kind of things. But it also happens between people. So, okay, there is this fear about what if I'm not able to communicate clearly? Okay, there's still this anxiety aspect of what if I'm not. Okay, so it's speaking to me about the past, those past experiences where you were misunderstood, where you tried to step into those spaces and you failed, like you feel like you failed. Although I actually do get quite clearly, like, you didn't fail. Those were simply experiences that helped you to get where you are now. Everything happened for a reason. So it's not about failure. And this brings me back. Yeah, okay. So this is lying under the flexible card. And we spoke about rigid beliefs and like those rather harsh beliefs. And it feels like there's someone talking to themselves in quite a maybe even judgmental way, or like putting yourself down or being like really hard to yourself in a sense of yeah, not giving yourself credit for how much you've achieved, how far you've come, and also to be more forgiving with your past self, more forgiving with the person you used to be, and maybe even like value and see like you had the courage to step into those spaces and at least you tried. Yes, you didn't get the outcome that you expected and that you wished for, but at least you tried. That's something. Like, give yourself credit for that. And I want to get some more advice on that. A little more with that card. Because I feel like that's like, so the rest of it was like more like confirmation or giving you an outlook. And here I feel like this is where the obstacles are, where you might hold yourself back or trip over your own feet. There it is again, the tripping over your own feet. I said that, right? I said it at the beginning. One more. All right, those are pretty grand energies. Okay, so this is the Emperor, and this is the Knight of Cups in the traditional tarot. What I get with that is, again, trust what you've learned. Give yourself some credit for what you've achieved so far. You've been busy. Like, you've been doing the work while you were in this retreating energy, and you actually learned everything you needed in order to I can tell that there's like a very grounded energy, like the Knight of Cups together with the Emperor. The Emperor for me is all about claiming my space, like all about, okay, so this is who I am. I'm here, I'm present with my energy. This is what I'm putting out, and I have a right to be here. I have the right to be here, and I deserve to get what I want. And with the Knight of Cups, like in combination with the Knight of Cups, I think this is a very, very beautiful energy, because sometimes the Emperor can be a bit like all or nothing, and like, I'm here and take it or leave it. a bit pushy even, or like not very, what is the word? Like not really taking into account how other people feel and all of that. And I don't get that impression because of the Knight of Cups here. There is an emotional intelligence here. It's still growing. You're still working on it. But that again speaks to this energy here. Like you don't have to be perfect. Like you don't have to know it all. There are things, especially when it comes to social contacts and emotional maturity. Like you need other people to practice with. You need to be in the space with other people in order to put into practice and to also like get out of your own headspace and to be in communication with others, to learn from others, from each other. Here, this is this energy again, like the mending, like we're learning from each other. And with the Keeper of Swords being here, that's the Queen of Swords. And I love the Queen of Swords. She has a really bad reputation, but for me, she is about, like, if she's in her highest energy, she's about boundaries, establishing boundaries, but at the same time being open. She's bringing together this feminine wisdom of receptivity, being able to receive, being open to receive, but at the same time, she's having so clear boundaries and she's so, just clear about her, like, this is my space, this is my truth, those are my values. And if you don't share them, if you overstep, I'm holding a sword in this hand and I'm not afraid to use it. But if you're nice, if you're polite, if you like don't make a mess in my space that I invite you into, you're welcome. And I love hanging out with you. That's the kind of energy I'm getting. And like it's really about trusting that you have done the work, that you're able to put this out, like to put this foot forward in that sense. And that it's okay to still practice. Like the practice is needed. Like you've learned as much as you possibly can, and now it's time to go out there and put into practice what you've learned so far. All right, this feels complete. Yes, I hear it's complete. Beautiful. Very, very beautiful. This is amazing. I really wish you so much fun with it. You know what? Meeting new people and being with people can be so much fun. And you know what? I just realized I haven't seen it before. The bottom of the deck is the Hermit. And I'm just like, the fact that I overlooked it is showing me like it's over. Like this energy is over. Like you're done with it. You're done with this. So on that note, beautiful energy. I would love to hear from you. If you feel like sharing it, leave a comment, give a thumbs up, or maybe even leave a subscription. I really appreciate it because, like the channel is still growing and it will really help to spread the message so that others can find it as well. And if you liked it, I would love to see you in the next video. And until then, all the best to you and take care.